Hallelujah, everybody. This is Bern.
Glory, hallelujah. This is Ry, and you're listening to the Bodacious Rant with Bern Ry. The reason why we're so uplifting and glory, hallelujah is, oh my God, that DC Fandom over the weekend. You and I were messaging each other like, wow, what? Like, I can't say anything. You go ahead and speak so I can collect myself here, just collect my energy.
Yeah, no, so for those who are unaware, their DC had their basically their Comic Con event, their virtual Comic Con event, which is called DC Fandom, and that happened over the weekend for 2 days, right? They went like Saturday and Sunday both days, or like Sunday was like
Pretty
the
much.
encore day or something, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like Saturday was all the reveals like scheduled, and then they just kind of repeated everything until like Sunday morning, which is fine.
If you missed it, you can go back and watch it like at the end of the day.
Yeah, and honestly, all that stuff people talk about on all the trailers and some of the dialogue are on YouTube. So if you didn't see it there, you can just look up DC Fandom on YouTube, and you'll basically find all the trailers and stuff you missed from that.
Yeah, I
But
saw that they started putting up like panels and stuff too for people to check out, along with the trailers that were dropped over the weekend.
yeah, and I'm fine with that. Like even if I did miss it, I'm kind of glad I watched it. I tried to stream it from my phone to my Apple TV, but that just was not. It kept like, I would play it and then it would pause immediately, almost like it was trying to catch up to the TV. So I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna watch it on my phone. So that's my only complaint about it. But besides that, it was really well done. Like the
hmm
presentation, the scheduling. I didn't see all of it, so I'm going to be honest. There were plenty of things I missed. So if we don't talk about the day, I apologize. But either way, as long as everyone got to see what they wanted to see, that's the important thing. I know I definitely did. The only thing I'm kind of bummed I missed a little bit was Black Adam.
Uh-huh.
And just real quick for everybody now for their DC fandom, well, with everything going on due to the pandemic, that they couldn't talk about everything that they usually would talk about at Comic Con, or maybe they were gonna do their own thing, but they basically went over some of the upcoming comics like Batman, A Legacy of Him, which is supposedly is actually going to release a not I think that was a black person under the cowl, which I thought that would be interesting, like an actual, you know,
Oh yeah,
different
yeah.
Batman. So there's that. They talked about some of the upcoming games from Rocksteady and Warner Brothers, which are Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and then they talked about the most anticipated films with the next, yeah, a year and a half, 2 years essentially, which was Wonder Woman 1984, which is set to debut this year, The Batman, which is still on schedule to come out next year in 2021, Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut, which is coming out early spring-ish,
Like quarter
2020.
two, I would say, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
if
quarter
not
two.
late quarter
That
one,
at least that's
early quarter
speculated. Yeah.
two. Yeah, it's definitely speculated, as well as Black Adam, and what else? And that was pretty much it. Just those are the four. Oh, and they show behind the scenes some of the footage of Suicide Squad by James Gunn. And like I said, the I didn't expect this level of like actual presentation from it, just because you think with everything going on, what can they really do? But they had actually a really nice, presentation with their green screen dome of all the DC stuff. The speakers were all really. I love how they actually came off as real fans. So
Yeah, and it was cool too because it also made it feel like it was a worldwide event with a lot of fans from around the world, like Brazil and other places. Like it made it
China,
seem,
yeah, they
yeah.
had everybody, and I thought, dang, there really are way more fans than I real. I mean, it's just one of the things that make you realize, like, it's not just for like you or me. There's definitely all kinds of fans out there, and
hmm
it is cool that they got a chance to ask directors and actors their questions in regards to movies. Like Zack Snyder, when he interviewed a couple of people that really headed the whole Snyder Cut movement, that was really cool to me. Just
hmm
because the first girl, I don't remember her name, but she basically is like the co-founder of that movement, and I could see her giddiness on the screen, like, oh my god, I'm talking to Zack Snyder, like this is awesome, and my movements actually come to place. Given it's like a movie, it's not like any something like it's not like a revolution, but it is at the same time for entertainment because it's giving a director an opportunity to kind of fix, basically go back and finish his work. With everything that Zack Snyder went through for that movie, just a death in the family and just that dealing with that grief, it was just hard to he just couldn't finish it, and we saw the end product, which was just abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
For whoever it was. I'm gonna blame the studio and Joss Whedon. And honest, I keep seeing Ray Fisher's tweets that they are going to do an investigation on Whedon and the misconduct that happened on that set. So that's unfortunate to hear, and why that movie that it went through that kind of stuff, if it is true. But
Yeah.
either way, like I said, I'm ranting. I'm getting off track here. It was just, again, the presentation behind everything was so great. I was blown away by all the reveals. They really brought their A game in showing us, if not a trailer, at least beautiful concept art that gets me more excited for everything. Like Black Adam, I didn't care for it all until I saw the trailer and the little teaser concept art trailer, and then more concept art, which teases the Justice Society. Like that was
Uh-huh.
pretty cool. Saying like we're gonna get a Hawkman, we're getting an Atom Smasher,
Dr. Fate, right?
yeah, and Doctor Fate. Like we're finally getting legit on-screen versions of these guys, especially because Hawkman, I just keep seeing more and more. Like I just finished reading Kingdom Come, which is easily one of the best graphic novels you will ever read. It literally is it's actually like a legitimate book because the writing is so great. I always got thrown off with Alex Ross's like realistic paint stuff, just, like his art,
Oh, like
his real
his painter style art.
yeah, just because I thought I don't want to see Batman in a cloth mask or Superman like wearing like some sort of like cheap costume. But honestly, reading it and seeing out the art, I didn't care for that at all. It was beautiful. And
Mm-hmm.
Hawkman, I love his. What happened with him is that he becomes like he wears like an Egyptian amulet or something, so he literally becomes like a hawk creature. So I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of cool, and just seeing him in that, rewatching Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War, and he's kind of become more of a prominent Justice Leaguer, I feel like, in the last few years, where before it was just kind of like he's one of those guys you barely hear about, but now he's becoming more of a presence, so
Yeah,
it's
it
stuff like
seemed
that
like
that gets excited for sure.
yeah, and it seemed like before like it was Hawk Girl who was the one being pushed. Like she was one of the main leaguers in the Justice League animated show. That was like
Right.
awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, it seems like lately Hawkman is getting a little bit more attention now, which he hadn't
I
really
like
gotten in the past.
I want to keep seeing more of those characters, like Martian Manhunter. I want to see more of him again, just because I feel like he was sidelined a bit. Like even though he came in the last few DC animated movies, like Justice League Dark, Justice League Apocalypse War, and a couple other things, I just felt like he was sidelined after the whole Justice League show. And in the comics, he wasn't really a Justice Leaguer, so.
Hmm.
I'm excited, but Superman Man of Tomorrow did come out on iTunes, so I may just buy it, even though ratings are saying it's good. It's kind of lacking a little bit in certain areas, but it's still a fun Superman story. So I'll probably just watch it strictly because of Superman and Martian Manhunter. But let's get down to it, dude. Like I said, I was so blown away by the presentation. Let's talk about some of our favorite things, which you and I are basically going to talk about the same thing over and over and over and over again. But yeah, the first thing I missed was Black Adam. I didn't really watch all the Wonder Woman full reveal stuff. I know they were playing a fun game where I think it was like they're trying to figure out who's the detective, who's the criminal, and who's the victims. I forgot what it was about. I kind of got the end of that.
Yeah, it's funny because my brother's been playing a game similar to that, like on the phone. I think it's called Town of Salem or something like that,
Kind
where
of,
you have
oh, that's what they called it. Yes, it was like something like Salem. It kind of reminded me of Clue a little bit when they were playing, and I just
yeah.
thought. But that's the one thing I will say before I continue on about Wonder Woman real quick is that I just love the camaraderie with all the actors on and the whole all those panels. Like Suicide Squad seemed like the funnest. Wonder Woman's
Oh
seemed
yeah.
also like another fun crew to work with. Didn't see anything from the Batman. The Snyder cut for Justice League. Not everybody was on there. I know they had Gal Gadot. They had Ben Affleck a little bit. He kind of did a little message.
Yeah, I think they had all the league members except for
Oh,
Aquaman.
Henry Cavill. Ray Fisher. Yeah, Ray Fisher was on there. Ezra Miller was on there because of Flash. Um,
Yeah, I think Jason Momoa was the only one who didn't pop up.
which is kind of a bummer. But maybe he had like a family thing going on. I don't know. Whatever, it's fine. Everybody has their own thing going on, and it is not the most ideal time with everything. So I
But we
understand.
know he's all
Oh, he's been
supportive
all
of us.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah, he's been like one of the most vocal of the
yeah,
cast for sure.
he's a badass dude. I love Jason Momoa's Aquaman. He's my favorite Aquaman so far. So I mean, given there's only been animated versions, and there has been a couple. Like I know Smallville had one who played a young Scully on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the flat top and the freak got some garbage. Oh my
Oh my
god,
God.
those are favorite episodes. But I digress. Anyways, with Wonder Woman 84, I didn't watch all of it, like I said, but when they dropped that trailer, I'm all in. I am so excited for that movie. It made me watching all these trailers, especially Wonder Woman 84. It definitely makes me miss the movie theaters even more. Even though right now I'm definitely not ready to go back. These are movies that are definitely making me itch to go back. Like I'll risk the Rona.
Yeah,
Hashtag
like
all in. Rona roulette. That's a new one.
so you said that with this trailer, like it sets you over the edge, like you're all in. So you weren't before?
Okay, because I'm gonna be honest. Full disclosure, the last Wonder Woman, great movie. I'm not gonna dispute that. It was great seeing Wonder Woman live action, like in a her own movie. I wasn't a huge fan of it just because I felt like it was a little. It kind of reminded me too much of like Captain America, like the first Captain America, a little bit, and I forgot
Uh-huh.
what else. But and then I was iffy on this trailer just because I thought, hey, 1984, that's a weird placement for this. I figured it would kind of take place after like Justice League and stuff like that. Maybe I'm still on the whole Marvel formula idea, and
Or
honestly, I was kind of getting more interested as it went on. Like when the last trailer revealed her eagle armor, which is it's a very adapted version from the Kingdom Come one.
yeah.
Because in Kingdom Come, an older Diana, she has that, like the top half of the eagle armor, and then like her like warrior like skirt at the bottom. But this
Yeah.
one's just full armored suit, it's really cool. I'm super excited for that. But this trailer, seeing Cheetah finally in action and Cheetah in all her greatness fighting Wonder Woman, I was blown away by it. Kristen Wiig already, it's because she's never really done anything like superhero wise. She's just been like
Right.
dramedies,
Well, like
stupid
anything other than
comedy,
yeah, comedy.
like Bridesmaids. As she was one of my favorites on SNL. But now that like she's actually in a superhero film, it'll be very interesting to see how she plays out as the villain. Already, like I said, she looks great. And then after that trailer, I kept seeing on like Prime One or like on Instagram, the whole like little statue diorama of armored up Wonder Woman fighting Cheetah. And
Oh,
I just kept
nice.
thinking to myself, I am so psyched for this. Like, thank God. I mean, what were you feeling, my brother? How did you like I said, I'm completely sold by it. Like, but how have you been with Wonder Woman? I know we both love the DC movies. I feel like you like them a little more than me sometimes. But what's your thoughts on it, my dude?
I do think I maybe enjoyed Wonder Woman a little more than you did. Like I didn't have those same issues with it that you seem to have. But I mean, I've been on board with this the second one since like the beginning. So like, there was nothing in this trailer in particular that like sent me over the top like for you, I guess, because I guess I was already there.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing Cheetah in action was cool because I guess that was, if I were to say the one thing I was most worried about, it was how they were going to adapt Cheetah, and with the actress being Kristen Wiig, I was like, ooh, okay, we let's see how this goes because she's not someone that would come immediately to mind to play a supervillain in a movie, which on the one hand makes it a very interesting choice, and on the other makes it like a little iffy. But seeing her a little bit more of her in this trailer, I did really enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in the first video, she kind of came off. She kind of reminded me of Uma Thurman's performance in
And yeah,
Batman
Batman
and
and
Robin,
Robin.
where it's like, not that Uma Thurman's a comedic actress thrown into like a dramatic role. It was more of a dramatic actress thrown into like a more comedic and role for that movie. But this one, I can agree with that. I was just kind of open to it. I was like, you know what, I'm still interested in this. I'm just not completely sold on it yet. Just because DC has only started doing really good movies like Shazam, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, which was
At
borderline.
least widely enjoyed movies.
Yeah, widely enjoyable. They've gotten more enjoyable over the last couple years,
Mhm.
just because they still had some hiccups here and there. But again, like I said, just seeing Cheetah and Wonder Woman going at it, seeing more of Wonder Woman in action, and then honestly, the whole at the end of the scene, at the end of the trailer, where Steve Trevor he's trying to decide what to wear, and he has a very dad outfit, like
Yeah,
a baggy shirt, regular like khaki pants, and then
very 80s.
yeah, very 80s. And then she's like, I think we could do better. And then she totally throws something different at him. Like looking like Flock of Seagulls with the whole like weird red tank top.
Uh-huh.
And parachute. Why is it this? Everybody's wearing parachute. Does everybody parachute now?
Yeah, does
And
everybody
she's kind of like she can't quite answer that question because she's been around for a long time, but she's still like, I feel like in that scene, she's like, I don't know what to tell you. This is the fashion now.
That's one of the things I'm most looking forward to, at least from what they've shown in the trailers, is that in the first Wonder Woman, she was, like a woman out of time where she's kind of getting familiarized with the modern world of World War One, and Steve was kind of the one that was saying, oh, this is how this works. And I like how now it's like the
It's
roles
totally
are
reversed.
reversed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, now that you point that out, I thought about that. I'm like, actually, this is really nice, just because I still am curious how he survived it all. That's the biggest question I still have, because his death in the first one seemed pretty friggin' secure. He died in
yeah.
the plane explosion, so it'll be very
From
interesting to see that happen.
yeah, from what it looks like, or at least what they're like hinting at, is that Pedro Pascal's character, I think they've confirmed that he's playing Maxwell Lord, a villain from the comics. But from what it looks like in the trailers, at least, is that there's some sort of like wish fulfillment going on.
Mm,
So I think maybe like at some point Diana makes a wish to bring back Steve. Or I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But I think that's the direction that they're going in, which is interesting.
yeah, we'll definitely have to see where we're gonna go with that. To be honest, I thought he was playing that propaganda guy in the DC who always just throws shade at superheroes. I forgot that character's name, but
Mhm.
let me see, Godfrey, something Godfrey. I'm gonna look that up real quick, just because I thought that's who he was playing. But
No, I think it's been confirmed now that he's Maxwell Lord.
Glorious Godfrey. That's the guy who is supposed to be like a propaganda machine. But no, Maxwell Lord will definitely be interesting to see. And yeah, like I said, I was sold by it. I'm looking forward to it. If you guys haven't checked it out, please look up that trailer, because if you're iffy like I was before, this trailer should kill all doubts you have about it. It looks fantastic. The next thing I was actually really happy with and very surprised by was Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Directed by James Gunn. And honestly, if I was a Marvel actor or anything, I feel a little like some shade was thrown at me when he said, "Oh, this is by far my favorite movie I've ever worked on." I was like, "Oh, what about
Yeah,
the
he was
company?"
he was throwing that around a lot, like
But
how
honestly,
much he was excited for this one.
I don't blame him, because Disney did try and cancel him for stuff that was like years ago. Given that does happen to plenty of it has happened to a couple actors recently, and it's the one of that it's that argument like what is the gravity of what you do, but I'm not going to get into that right now. James Gunn is back on for directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
Hmm.
and honestly he's just a great director all around, because he's had some misfires too, but I remember after Guardians I was like, I'm totally on board with James Gunn. And what I loved what they did is not they didn't necessarily show us a trailer, but they did reveal who the Suicide Squad is made up of, and I thought that was super weird, but I should have expected it from James Gunn. Like it definitely wasn't like the last movie where every villain in the Suicide Squad is a well-known villain, and that is the case for majority of the Suicide Squad Task Force X comics, but they also do feature some really oddball characters, some very strange,
Some deep
random,
cuts.
yeah, random villains. Like even in the Justice League Unlimited episode Task Force X, they had a random Batman villain, the Clock King. They had Captain Adam's future lover, Plastique, who was a villain, and then I forgot who else. I think that was it. The rest were Deadshot, Boomerang, and Rick Flag.
Hmm.
But that's super minor compared to this. Where this one we get like Weasel, which I've never heard of before, Polka
Yeah.
Dot, Bloodsport. And I can't think of all the characters' names, but I just love
Those are like TDK, like basically arm fall off boy, played by Nathan Fillion.
Javelin, who's basically based off of Javelin Man. Like, oh my god,
Just a weird
there's
villains.
so many random villains. But I will say the one thing that got me super excited was Harley Quinn's new look. Her
Yeah.
because the original Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie is just a total goddess of a woman. Like her looks are second to none. They did sexualize her a little bit too much. I know that was a point of controversy for David Ayer's Suicide Squad, where
Yeah.
with her like super short booty shorts and her like sexy top and
Yeah. Just something very impractical to go be fighting and
yeah, it looked if I were a woman, I feel like that'd be very uncomfortable. I don't know. I dress pretty, conservatively. I just have my shorts, my chonies and my shirt. I rock it simple, man. I don't, and then in Birds of Prey, she kind of rocked more of like I don't know if I consider her feminist. I don't know what that considered was, but she had more of like her own look to it, which I loved her in Birds of Prey as well. I actually
oh yeah,
liked her.
all her costumes in that one were dope.
Yeah, they were, and she was just hilarious in that, just total savage. But I'm super excited for this one because she has the red and black garb, almost like out of like the Arkham games and some of the
Yeah.
new mix, and she looks badass, frankly. So that got me really excited for it. Joel Kinnaman returns as Rick Flag.
Yeah,
So
I
and
like how he has his yellow shirt.
yeah, he has his comic book look for that. Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller, which she was a highlight of the last movie, Suicide
Uh,
Squad 2. She's so cold hearted. She's I couldn't stand her, but at the same time I loved her as a villain, like a villain slash like very anti-hero character in the last movie. But
mhm.
Michael Rooker is in this, and I love the panel with that one because they were just throwing so much shade at him, but it was like all
Yeah,
like he kept laughing at it, like, oh my god, you guys are
yeah,
ridiculous.
everybody was clowning on him. I like how that was I bet that was like a small glimpse into what it was like to work on set with all those, just all those personalities all coming together.
Oh yeah, John Cena seemed like such a fun guy to work with too. He was cracking some jokes with them and too, and Alice Braga seemed like she was really in with everybody. Like not one of those actors seemed like they didn't enjoy that film so far, or at least in that panel, none of them. Given it's a panel, so everybody has to have a face for camera and stuff like that, or present personality on camera, but
Yeah.
it seemed that they had a good energy together playing their
Mhm.
their trivia game,
Yeah.
especially with Rick Flag's team and Viola Davis's team. They were just so ridiculous. And Jai Courtney returning as Boomerang, which he has more of his Boomerang suit, which I thought that was kind of cool. And
Yeah, we actually saw him throw boomerangs in the behind the scenes footage too,
yes,
which I liked.
yeah, so I like how they did the character reveal because that cleared up so many questions on who was playing what. Because he was
Yeah.
commenting on one person's question that some people got it really right, others have got it completely wrong. But let's put that to rest, and they showed that. And then I love the little behind the scenes clip that they did where you kind of saw some of the sets and some of the scenes that will be in that movie. And yeah, it is definitely. I know it's described as like a war movie, and from this behind the scenes, it definitely looks like it'll be a pretty epic, action film, while also being probably a super dark comedy because everybody's a super villain, and they're all just such weirdos.
Yeah, and what I liked about it too, it looked like it was the Suicide Squad up against some sort of like militia or something. Like one of the things that I really did not enjoy about the last movie was that they're fighting this like supervillain threat that was like the Suicide Squad wouldn't be used for that. It would be used for these like black op missions that you don't want to send your own like American soldiers to or something that you have these expendable villains that you can send that if they die it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, because the Suicide Squad, they have been sent up against like trying to kill members of the Justice League. That is the whole premise of Task Force X. Like, what if the Justice League rivals the world? Who do we send in that we don't care about losing? And it's like the last squad definitely couldn't take down Superman. That was the whole premise of David Ayer's. Is like, what if Superman decided to take out the president? Who's going to stop him? It's like I can tell you right now, none of these villains could.
Yeah, no one on
Like
that
at
except for
least
maybe Enchantress.
at least they were presented in that film, no one could, just
Yeah.
because it was a very Like I said, the last movie was such a hodgepodge. It was definitely David Ayer has been open that the studio really didn't interfere with it. They tried to change it up to fit the more Marvel formula, like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's basically what they really hinted at. And yeah, like I said, man, I didn't I liked it at first, but the more I saw that movie and thought about it, I thought, man, you guys messed this up. And but James Gunn's version definitely seems to not only continue it, like it's because it is a sequel from that one, but
Hmm.
it is going to expand on that, and I think kind of get it back on track. So if we do get a Suicide Squad Part 3, I think we could either see return of like Deadshot and a couple other villains, or we'll just see other DC villains join in because that it is made up of like even the likes of Cheetah and a couple other like Black Manta. They've all joined the squad at a certain point. So
Yeah.
I did like that King Shark was also added into it. Like I
Yeah.
love the squad so far. It's pretty thick squad, like a lot of members to it,
Yeah. So a lot of people are gonna die.
but it is definitely following the suicide the like that typical like mission that the Task Force X is designated to. That you're gonna go fight a militia, you're gonna go fight some country, but whatever happens happens. Like if you come back, cool, shave time off your sentence, whatever, but we could care less what happens to you because you're a villain, and I love that's what they're definitely playing off on in this. So yeah, like I said, that was another movie I thought, okay, I'm on board. I didn't really have too much doubt with James Gunn. I just thought, what is this gonna be like? And it
Yeah,
definitely
I was
out.
most curious about who they were playing.
I feel like it's gonna be DC's most out there movie to date. Just because they're really going with some comic book accurate looks with these guys, and they're all the most random villains I've never heard of before. So I'm interested in that one. I don't know. What else? What else did I really like out of that? The video games. Let's talk about the video games real quick. I know when I was having breakfast later in the day that morning, you told me about the Gotham Knights trailer, which I didn't see the panel for, but Gotham Knights looks pretty crazy. It looks pretty fun. That's by Rocksteady, right? No, who was that one by?
No, no, Gotham Knights is the one being made by WB Montreal.
Montreal, right? Okay.
And
I
they have been involved in the past with the Arkham games. Just
didn't they do
I,
Arkham?
I believe they did Arkham Origins. If not, I know for a fact they did help out with the DLC for the Arkham Knight games.
Okay. Either way, that's totally fine. Either, like I said, I thought it was really cool that both this and the Suicide Squad game, which we'll talk about in just a sec, they both hint at the after the Arkham Knight story in which like Batman's done fighting crime, he's dead or like he's just disappeared. Like I know at the end of Arkham Knight he blows up Wayne Manor. And that's kind of the end of Batman, essentially. So I thought when I first saw the trailer, is this a continuation of it? Because none of these guys look like Arkham characters at all. But I do love that it's four members out of the Bat family, which was Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, um, Tim Drake as the third Robin, Dick Grayson's coming back as Nightwing, and then Jason Todd, who's fighting with them or will be fighting with them in that to a certain extent, where we're going to see, and you could play as any one of these characters, which I
Yeah,
thought was really cool. And they definitely have different looks. Like in the trailer, I've never seen some of those looks. Like Tim Drake has like a kind of weird like poncho kind of thing. I wouldn't know how you describe that, but that was kind of cool to see. Red Hood has his typical, like leather vest and his guns.
yeah,
Dick Grayson looked pretty traditional. Dick Grayson, I think Barbara Gordon were the most traditional out of all of them. But then then they actually had a gameplay, which again, I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought they were
nope.
just going to have the trailer and then
And
that
that
was
was it.
because
Yeah,
that's what usually Comic Con does, or like any of those other what those other like presentations do. Is like, oh, we're just going to show you a glimpse of it, whether it be a trailer, some art, or something. But again, I love that about this whole presentation this week is that they gave us concept art and trailers or behind the scenes footage or something to get fans excited. And this game definitely got me excited because you get to play as Batgirl and Tim Drake, and they both have like their Red Robin suits, and she has her own Batman status cowl. And I like how Tim Drake's story is that he's using Justice League technology because he's part of the league, so he can teleport using the Watchtower tech. I thought that was really
oh, really? Was that
yeah, that's how he was able to just jump from place to place. Like, oh yeah, he's using technology from the Watchtower, so that's how he's able to transport from one spot to another.
that's cool. That's a cool detail.
I really like that detail, and we didn't see anything from Red Hood or Nightwing, but they did say this is a game you could play co-op. You get to choose whichever character you want. It definitely hints at some customization, just because, like I said, from the trailer, Batgirl had a different suit, and then in the gameplay trailer, she had another look completely. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for it. It kind of reminded me of the DC Universe game, like those trailers where like they're fighting Deathstroke and Black Adam and Superman. You know what I'm talking about? That massive like MMORPG game.
Yeah, that MMO that came out like years ago.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, and that's not a bad thing. It's just very different. Just because I was kind of looking forward. I love the darkness of the Batman Arkham games, and that's what I thought I was gonna get. But that one looks exciting. I'm interested. I know you said I was gonna mainline Red Hood, but it's either him or my boy Dick Grayson. I'm a Nightwing guy, all through and through. He's my favorite Robin out of all of them.
Yeah, Nightwing's my boy, but Batgirl's also really cool too.
Batgirl's dope. She's another successor to the Cowl. That game I got pretty excited for. That was the first thing I watched for that day, and then the next one, the Suicide Squad game, which is
Yes.
so stupid. Yeah, Suicide Squad's gonna have so much love like next year. But I think Gotham
Oh
Knights
yeah.
comes out next year or 2 years, right? I think it's 2
So
years.
so Gotham Knights it said 2021
Okay.
and then
Suicide Squad
with
is
Suicide
2022.
Squad is 2022.
Yeah, damn, we have to wait
So
2 years
that
for
is
that.
a ways off.
Ugh, damn it.
I gotta put
That's a bummer
myself
though.
into cryo freeze to just wait for all these things to come out.
But again, 2 years of Suicide Squad in a row, that's going to be actually pretty cool. Because if the movie does well, awesome. And if the game is, because that's made by Rocksteady, who produced all the Arkham series. And I did like how this game is rooted in the Arkham universe. So
Yeah, this one is a continuation of the Arkham universe.
that trailer was hilarious. Just like how Harley's just kind of playing like with her fingers and stuff like that. King Shark is just chilling there.
Yeah, like they're all kind of taking a little break.
They're all just and there's still destruction and like fighting going on around them, but they're not doing anything about it. Which I thought, wow, that is very Suicide Squad esque of them. And this one, I like the squad. It has again Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, King Shark, which is a new addition to the Arkham universe because the last couple, all the games only featured like Killer Croc or God, what's
Man
that?
Bat, yeah.
Man, it is Man Bat. Okay, I wasn't sure because it sounds so weird saying Man Bat instead of Batman.
Instead
But
of Batman, yeah.
but that and then it had Deadshot, which again they retconned him because in the games, in the Arkham games, if I'm correct, he's definitely portrayed more as like a Hispanic or like Italian, like a lighter skinned guy. But this one,
Yeah.
he's definitely African American,
Yeah,
black.
based more on like the Will Smith iteration of that character.
And I will say the only thing I'm not thrilled with is I don't necessarily care for the whole like jetpack thing. I felt like they were kind of ripping off either Rocket Raccoon or Iron Man for that, but it's Deadshot. I'll probably play as Deadshot anyways. I still like
Yeah.
him.
It seems like it was a decision made for like more traversal, I guess, in the game, for him to get around.
Yeah, so I mean, because the trailer definitely debuted, it definitely had some gameplay aesthetics to it. Like that's what the game designers were talking about afterwards. Is that yeah, like Boomerang when he would flip that, I like how it was like a flash, like he had flash technology imbued in his Boomerang, so he could jump from place to place.
Mhm.
Harley is just gonna be like zip lining a bunch of places, and King Shark just looks like the Hulk of the group, where he can just jump from spot to spot.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
So I thought that was pretty cool seeing them kind of fight at it, like how King Shark had his like machetes, like his giant swords, and then like like a minigun. Harley
Uh-huh.
just had like her baseball bat and a couple guns. Deadshot was just, I love how he set people on fire with his jetpack. That was actually pretty cool. Even though
Yeah.
I know I said I'm not the biggest fan of that, but that was kind of a cool thing to it. They did say that's a gameplay feature. And Boomerang, I just loved his little traversal thing, which is like flashing from point to point. So I wonder if they'll explain that in the game. And then it was hilarious, just that ending where they get hit by explosions. Like, oh my god, it's Superman! Superman!
Yeah.
The way
Like King Shark is geeking out over Superman.
a little bit like he's
He
kind of,
saved that pilot.
and then just you see Superman totally eradicate this guy, and it was Superman. It wasn't Bizarro, or at least as far as we know, it didn't look like any other Superman but Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Arkham universe, that was actually a pretty cool, very simple Superman suit where he had some like yellow lines down the side. So I thought, okay, I could see that going against like either Batman Arkham City or even Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Those
It looked
suits.
like he fit in that universe.
Yeah, like Harley looks a little different compared to Arkham games, but it's also just a natural evolution just because she had like her frou-frou dress corset kind of look and she had like leather pants and another corset and throughout the games. So
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely like an advanced, this is definitely another Suicide Squad version of her. And I just love how like Boomerang's like, oh, so you guys figure out who we're gonna kill now? And they're all like, he has no idea what just happened, and they're all pointing at Superman. He's just like, oh fuck. Which I would think the same thing too. Like we have to kill him. So I'm definitely interested because it is called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So I wonder how many more leaguers we're gonna see. It would be cool to see if we'll get members of the Bat family, just because it is Arkham universe in the
Uh-huh.
Arkhamverse. It'd be cool if we see Flash just because of Captain Boomerang. King Shark, it'd be cool if we saw Aquaman or any of the Atlantean royal family like Aqualad or, Tempest or any of that. And then who else are they another villain we could see? Because Deadshot's another Batman villain. I mean, I guess we could always see like just another Justice Leaguer intervene or something, but no, I'm excited for it. I will say this, like game wise and other stuff, I was a little disappointed we didn't see anything Injustice related. I thought I saw stuff where they're talking about they were going to reveal Injustice comics or something, but that was my own complaint. I didn't see anything Injustice. I just want to throw out my other hopes besides Injustice 3 is that if they do decide to do another Batman Arkham game, like if Suicide Squad especially does great in 2 years, I think it'd be a natural progression to Batman Beyond. That would be a really cool Arkham game to play, especially because Arkham City and Arkham Knight both featured, Batman Beyond suits. So
Yeah, there's a lot of cool potential with that universe in particular, and I'm also very curious, like if as the Suicide Squad, we're actually going to be able to kill members of the Justice League, just because within this Arkham universe, they've already set a precedent that characters will die, like characters have died before in this Arkham universe already. With Joker being the biggest one, and then Batman at the end of the Arkham Knight game, depending on what ending you got and how you interpreted the ending.
yeah, that and honestly, if they're smart about it, they could open up so much more DLC with other Suicide Squad members. Because I know in Arkham Origins at the end, Deathstroke is recruited by Amanda Waller to join the squad, so we
Hmm.
could see them. Maybe we'll get characters from the movie because it does come out a year later, a year after James Gunn's Suicide Squad. So maybe they'll do something like that. But like I said, both video games were so fun, and they look like they're going to be potential games of the year, if not just other fun games in the DC universe to play.
Yeah, at the very least, it'll be more of a good thing with their video games, because for the most part, the DC games have been like some of the best.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe, like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just hopeful that they'll still do like another Batman Arkham game. Maybe they could do like a Justice League game, especially if the Suicide Squad does well. And I love how both Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League are both co-op playable games. So that means you and I could Gotham Knight it up and Suicide Squad it up.
Yeah, we'll be kicking ass as the Bat Family and as the Suicide Squad.
Seriously,
Good guys and bad
maybe
guys.
we'll kill more of the Bat family in the Suicide Squad. Time will tell. Um, So, and we didn't get to see a gameplay trailer for Suicide Squad, but again, Will Arnett presented that, which I thought was hilarious because he had dialogue with the characters too.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. Like again, it just the presentation behind it all made it like so much better than what it really was. Like it was just so fun to see these actors and other characters because Will Arnett was Lego Batman, so it was kind of funny him
Uh-huh.
just being himself in that little reveal. Um, but now that those games are done, let's talk about our two favorite things, which has just been I've just been rewatching them nonstop on YouTube the last several days.
At least, yeah, at once or
Which
twice a day.
which one do you want to talk about first?
Oh man. You know what? Let's go in the order that they were revealed, and let's talk about Zack Snyder's Justice
I
League.
was gonna say that too. I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to talk about Batman first. Let's save that till after. But yeah, so the two, besides Wonder Woman 84, in my opinion, these were the two biggest reveals slash like presentations, just because, which is the Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, and the Batman directed by Matt Reeves, starring the infamous and very talented Robert Pattinson, aka
Yep.
Twilight, aka Cedric Diggory from Harry Potter, which I keep forgetting he's in, but I thought about that today. I'm like, he was Cedric Diggory. Like, I liked him in that one too.
Yeah, I think that was like the first thing we ever like saw him in.
Yeah, but um, the Snyder cut, that was really great to see, because again, I know Zack Snyder was talking about it, and they had special like words from like Gal Gadot, who's just like, I love you, Zack, and I'm so happy we're getting to do this finally. And it was just so much support from his cast and fans that it was very heartwarming to see that panel happen. Oh my God, we forgot to talk about the Flash. I wanted to talk about that real quick before we get into this. Um,
Okay.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I'm scatterbrained a good portion of the time. But before we continue on with the Snyder cut, Ezra Miller's Flash did have a panel which was also pretty cool. Mostly just for me, it was because of the concept art they showed. And they confirmed Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are suiting up as Batman again, both
hmm
of their Batman. So Michael Keaton slash Tim Burton's Batman's coming back, as well as Snyder's Batman coming into this movie. Because for those of you who maybe don't know, or maybe you just don't care, the Flash movie is supposed to be Flashpoint, which the Flash goes back in time to change, like, to save his mom, but in doing so, it's like a butterfly effect, and that sets a whole bunch of changes through the DC universe. And the graphic novel, it basically was an apocalyptic war between Aquaman and Wonder Woman, who are just despots, just despotic versions of themselves,
hmm
totally warlord characters, which were really some of my favorite designs for them. But this movie is not doing that Atlantean Amazonian war. So I'm interested to see what will happen. But the concept art not only showed like a new 52 Flash suit with the thunderbolt and then light streaming from it going through his body, which I thought was really cool. It looked more like a padded rubber suit. And then the next piece of art was Ezra Miller's Flash in that new suit with Michael Keaton's Batman. And I
Yeah.
just, that alone got me excited for it. It killed any hate I had, because I was like, how do you do a Flashpoint movie without the biggest conflict in that story, which was between Aquaman and Wonder Woman? And that's kind of what set the precedent of why he needs to change things again and create the new 52. So I'm already excited to see Michael Keaton fighting alongside Ezra Miller. Maybe it'll be like a Batman Beyond situation too, because it's going to confirm DC's multiverse more so than the Flash show did before, in which
Yeah.
Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin met each other as Flash. I'm just excited for it. That's the last thing I wanted to talk about before I go on with the Snyder
Before
cut.
we deep dive into the Snyder cut, yeah, no, I'm excited for the Flash too. For I mean, all the reasons that you already said, like the new suit that Ben Affleck's Batman has designed for him looks really cool. And then just also, I would never thought in a million years that we'd ever get Michael Keaton, another like Michael Keaton Batman thing. Like I thought that was just something that was just so far off and something that would like never, no people would ever consider. But just to know that he's actually going to suit up again,
Well, I'm
it's
seeing two of my favet Batman on
it's so
screen
cool.
together, so that'll be
Yeah.
fun. Because I love Chris Bale. Don't get me wrong. I love Chris Bale's Batman. I know he's a majority of people's favorites, but
Uh-huh.
Michael Keaton is my nostalgic childhood hero growing up, and then Ben Affleck is my ideal Batman. He suited it for every reason I will talk about at another time. Or if anybody has any comments to address, we can do a whole another video on why I love Ben Affleck. I don't care. But that got me excited. Now back to the Snyder cut. Again, the whole presentation, like I said, was just so heartwarming to see Snyder not only talk to a couple of his fans, and one of them was his friend who said, "Yeah, like it was great coming out to your home in Pasadena that weekend, where my kids got to see your version, at least what you have made up." And I know even he was like, I'm so excited for this. There was so much work behind all the Snyder Cut promotions and stuff that we just, it seems like the fans really, not only is Zack Snyder getting his win and finishing his vision, but the fans are getting finally what they want to.
Yeah, and then that was one of the biggest like takeaways of that was just the fan interaction and how it seems like there's a certain like part of the internet that wants to be cynical about everything and how they're trying to frame the things that happened with the Snyder Cut and that as like just a bunch of these like crybaby fans that just want things their way and that that the Snyder Cut movement and it actually being made is like setting a bad precedent for fan interactions with films, and this just goes to show that no, it's just people that enjoy these characters and they're just fans like everybody else is a fan of certain things. There was a lot of love that went into this movement, especially with the donations to the suicide awareness and all the things that went into that and how they got involved, and it just goes to show that like, again that this movement came from a place of love, and that was really nice to see that with Zack interacting with the fans and reinforcing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you said. I know there's a lot of toxic fandom out there, and it does bum me out. But this is one of those things that I saw more positivity from than I have from any other movement
Oh
regarding
yeah.
the film. Because it wasn't a movie that was universally loved and people just want their own version. This was not the case because Justice League was a critical and box office failure.
Hmm.
And that was terrible because again, if you're a fan of, I'm a fan of Zack Snyder's work. I love Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, not the
Yes.
theatrical one. I'm clarifying that because the Ultimate Cut was again Snyder's vision for what he wanted. And it made the story so much clearer, so much better than what we got in the theaters. And and the Justice League was again completely redone by Joss Whedon in the studio, and you
Hmm.
could see that. And then some of that footage that he used from Zack Snyder's version, like what he did already, was just it didn't feel the same. He kind of they changed it up for like the whole tone of the film and with the color changes and everything. And I just thought this is definitely not what we deserved. Even though that last reveal got me excited with the whole, you know, Jesse Eisenberg and his Lex Luthor's look and Joe
With
Manganiello's
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. Now, just to clarify, do we know if that was from Snyder or was that Joss Whedon in the studio who did that?
There is like conflicting theories and like reports on that there is this scene with Deathstroke and Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor that Zack did film, and some people are saying that that they did reshoot the ending scene, like well the post credit scene. So I honestly I don't know
Well,
if what we saw was Snyder's or if it was another reshoot. It's really hard to tell.
I feel like when I remember there was that whole test footage of Manganiello walking in the suit like towards the camera, like a video game thing, a video game look to it. I felt that was before Snyder had to leave due to his family, his daughter committing suicide and stuff like that. I felt like it was before that.
Hmm.
But either way, I hope we see Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke again, or at least that version of Deathstroke, because that suit alone was amazing.
Yeah.
That got me so hyped after Justice League. But again, the rest of the movie sucked. So whatever you think, I feel like this movement came from a source of positivity and just an understanding of the director's work, and these fans wanted to see that director finish his vision for better or for worse. I'm not going to say the Snyder Cut for Justice League is going to be the best thing ever. It may not
Yeah.
be that great. It may not be that much better than
Yeah.
the
Yeah. And
point.
there is a off chance that it could be worse, and we don't know.
But the point is, we're fine. This guy, the Zack Snyder's finally gonna be able to see his vision, and this is after he's mourned the loss of his daughter, that his family has gotten some closure. I hope so. This is definitely a better state of mind for him to do this, and that's what I'm most happy about. He really does care about the fans. He's not out to like upset anyone. He's just trying to do the best he can with this work, and that's what I love about him, especially when it comes to like DC heroes and everything. So that was fun to see. And he talked about how it's going to be broken up into 4 parts, hour-long parts, a
Hmm.
4-hour movie. So it's like a Lord of the Rings extended cut.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which, again, I'm excited for it, and I loved how he's like, it will be on HBO Max. However, for those of you who don't have that, for whatever reason, we're working with distributors on making it available for everybody, and I appreciate that as well. Like, it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you're making up for the stuff you did with that. And Zach, I love that you're really wanting everyone to experience it, so that's awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, and I did see, I think it was either yesterday or Sunday that they did, in fact, confirm that internationally, at least, that the Justice League Snyder Cut stuff would be available on like HBO Go, HBO Now.
Yeah, it's only fair to do so, just because I know HBO Max is a little on the expensive side. I know it's not for everybody. I love
Yeah,
HBO Max though, especially since it's
yeah.
launched. They've added way more movies and shows to it.
Hmm.
It's like I said, I just again his presentation was just so positive and so welcoming. Like he's like, I'm ready to work. Like we're gonna get this done for you guys. We can't wait to show you what we wanted to do, our original
Hmm.
plans for the film. And then again, he showed no. I mean, we've gotten a couple teasers since they announced it, but
Yeah, just like small
if you can
clips
see
here
my
and there.
face, ladies and gentlemen, you can see I have the dumbest grin and the happiest grin on my face because it gets me excited thinking about it. Like the opening part of the trailer with the song with the Leonard Cohen version of Hallelujah from Watchmen, that
Uh-huh.
I immediately was like, okay, he's using Watchmen throwback. I like that. And it kind of goes along with what we've been wanting as fans. Like, Hallelujah, we're
Yep.
finally getting this. And you just see a young dark side. That was like his look was a little funky to me. I'm not gonna lie. I thought, it's different, but he looks still menacing. Like he just has like his like crown, his chin crown thing, full on 8-pack and just a giant hammer throwing down. I was like, oh shit, this is bad.
Hmm. And I just like how, like, immediately, first shot of the trailer, something we never saw in
Like,
the theatrical version, right
yeah,
away.
which
Boom.
is again dark.
Different.
Yeah, we're finally seeing Dark Side that they hinted at in Batman versus Superman. Superman's in agony, which again, this is all most of this 90% of that trailer was all footage we never seen because there were a couple
Yep.
shots I thought that wasn't the Justice League movie. Like, okay, that's fine. That just goes to show they did use some of his footage for that version. We got to see more of Cyborg's football game when he was still playing for Gotham. And what I was crazy is that they changed up what happened to Silas Stone.
Yep. His dad.
That his dad had a whole Watchman death. Just
Yep. Yep.
in like basically what you see is that he's firing up a mother box, like shooting a laser at it. He looks at his son with eyes of like, yeah, I'm about to die. Cyborg is just like, Dad, please, like, I don't want you to die, kind of thing. And then just Dr. Manhattan's dad is boom, just
Yep.
shreds.
Disintegrated.
I was like, what? Like, we are completely changing this up.
Yep.
Because I
Because
feel,
in the theatrical cut, he's alive at the end of the movie. Like,
yeah,
he makes it all the way through.
they definitely in the Justice League movie paint him more as like a troubled father. When it's like in the comics and even in other shows and movies, Silas Stone is not a good dad. He's actually a dick.
Yeah.
He's a pretty terrible father. So that's going to be a good. I just got excited by that. We got to see Iris West, who's played by what's her name again?
Kiersey Clemens.
Kiersey Clemens. Yes, we got to see her in that, which I thought,
Yeah.
oh,
Just a character completely again, not in the theatrical version of the movie.
we got to finally see. I'm sure all the ladies loved the Aquaman scene where he's walking along the pier, rips off his shirt in the rain, and he's just like jacked as all hell.
Hot.
I'm pretty sure whoever all the ladies were loving that one, especially when it coincided perfect with the chorus, the Hallelujah.
I was like, hallelujah! Look at that bout.
Seriously, man,
Jealous.
he's
That dude
goals.
is massive.
He is, and the song choice, the tone, the Zack Snyder like desaturated, cold tone was. And then the very last part where they're all circled up, which we've never seen before. This footage, and Ezra's flash is like, well, we have to assume that he's fought a bunch of aliens on different planets, and we have to assume he's won them, right? And Ben Affleck's line just, I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells, he's never fought us, not us united. Oh, that was the whipped cream on the sundae for me.
Yep,
Cherry
that
on
was
top.
just a fantastic line.
Oh man, I can't get excited enough for that, and that's coming super soon. I wonder if they're gonna do it like every week is gonna be an episode, or if it'll just be all at once. If they do it the every week, I'm fine with that because I'm just gonna build up anticipation more and more every week.
I think the once every week is probably the route that they're gonna go, just because that's how HBO has done all of their their programs. I don't think they've. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've even with HBO Max released anything all at once.
No, they HBO is still stuck by the whole one episode every week. Like Lovecraft Country right now, they're doing the episode every week.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I think that's what they're gonna. I think that'd be cool if they did it for this. Either way, I'm just gonna sit there and watch it all 4 hours. But
Mhm.
if he broke it up into 4 parts, I'm sure HBO's gonna be like, we'll just release it once every week. You
Yeah,
know?
and I think it makes the most sense because just in terms of subscription, you want to have people on your thing for a whole month, and then also just in terms of the cultural conversation surrounding it, like if it's going to be something people talk about week to week, instead of just where like with things like Stranger Things, for example, where like the conversations like all seems like it's all at once, and then later it people just kind of forget it. Whereas like something like The Mandalorian, was everybody was talking about it, every week. And like Game of Thrones, every week people were talking about it.
As much as I love to binge, sometimes it's just you finish it. So if you're really into something, you're gonna finish it super fast.
Yeah.
And if it's not rewatchable by any means, like there are a couple shows I can rewatch a couple times in a row just because it's like, yeah, it was a great season. I'm gonna keep rewatching because I'm enjoy it. But then there's a
Mhm.
couple shows that I'm just like, no, I could wait a while, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm kind of glad that they're doing. I hope they do it once a week, and I think they will because he did say we will make a full-on theatrical 4 hour continuous version for you guys if you want to view it that way.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds. He's like, you may want to just do the 4 parts because this is gonna be a lot. And I'm
Yeah,
fine.
you're gonna
Again,
be
I'm
sitting down
excited for
for a
that.
while.
Again, it's just like all the footage from the Snyder trailer at that Comic Con. Where finally, it was all in the movie. It was all in this trailer too. Because I remember after watching the Comic Con trailer and then watching the movie, I thought, where's half the footage? Where is any of this? This
hmm
almost like they did away with it completely. Like that's another thing that pissed me off. Is like, man, you guys really just. It's almost like you guys didn't want anything to do with him in this movie. Either way, that trailer, I've been rewatching that nonstop.
Wait,
And
wait,
now
before we move on, what do you think about the aspect ratio? I know that's been a
Ooh,
topic of conversation.
I saw about that today, where it's gonna be like there's like a TV version, like I forgot the aspect ratios he's talking about, but I love how he's gonna change it for each like platform, like whether it be a mobile or TV or something. So he doesn't necessarily have to crop. It's just gonna show. I forgot. I forgot what he was talking about, but why don't you
Yeah,
explain it for everybody because I can't articulate this well.
yeah, so this is super like nerdy, deep cut stuff. Some people probably didn't even notice it, or some people did and just thought, no, that was weird. But essentially, so the format is going to be in a 166:1 aspect ratio, which is like the more of the square that we saw, like the way that the trailer was presented. So it's basically we are getting the whole image. I know people are more used to the widescreen, the widescreen format where the black boxes are on the top and the bottom of the screen. But what that does is that crops the footage on the top and the bottom. And what Zack wanted to do, because he liked working with IMAX footage so much, he wanted to keep that full frame. So that's where we're getting the bigger picture on the top and the bottom. And so where nothing's being cut out from the sides, from the left and right. So we are getting the full like version. If we were to see this footage like in an IMAX screen, it would take up the whole IMAX screen.
Oh, then I'm on board. That's a given. Because I do like how IMAX does that sometimes. It is a bummer when it's like IMAX shot, then regular black box and stuff. Sometimes I notice it, and when I do, I'm like, oh well, that's a bummer. That's kind of weird. It's honestly like too bad IMAX is cheaper, so every filmmaker can use it, and that way it's like a consistent thing. But
hmm
to each their own. Whatever the film demands and their vision that they want to execute. But yeah, I'm totally on board with what Snyder wants to do with that, and I can't wait till this comes out, like spring of 2021. Hopefully 2021 will be much better than this year because this year's been a total crapshoot.
But I mean, it's already got a step ahead with all the cool stuff that should be coming out next year. So
But now to the very last thing we want to talk about, which everybody should know is coming. That's a given.
the cherry on top.
DC Fandom. It's literally just the whole Sunday itself for me. Like if I didn't watch any of the other stuff on DC Fandom, but just this, I would have been fine with that.
Oh, true.
Which is the panel for the Batman. That is still, like I said, it's coming out next year, or supposedly supposed to come out next year. They do have to get back to filming.
Which I think they said they're going to start again next month, I
I
believe.
think they're starting again. Yeah, they're just getting all the guidelines set up, getting everything ready for that. So it's a matter of time. I know Robert Pattinson, he first started the panel. He's like, I'm going to throw it to Matt because I don't want to reveal anything that he doesn't want me to, but I'm excited to get back to work for you guys. And which, again, was pretty cool because Robert Pattinson, because he was in Twilight. A couple of my exes, actually my ex loved Twilight, and I had to go see a couple of those in theaters. And I took one of my friends to go see it, the last one in theaters, the part 2, which I just thrown so much shade at it. It was hilarious to me. No, I'm sorry for those who do love Twilight. Please forgive me, but it's just they're not good movies. But again, he's improved over the years as quite an actor. Matt Reeves said he's a chameleon. Like I love seeing him, and a couple of I can't think of the names, but you know him off. A couple of the movies that he's been great in. Name them off for me?
Just the couple of movies. Like if you aren't familiar with this stuff and want to see how he is as an actor outside of Twilight, I mean, I definitely recommend The Lighthouse with him and Willem Dafoe. That's a great one. Good Time, which was directed by the Safdie brothers who did the Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
He did throw that one in there as praising Pattinson's performance. And then there was one more he talked about. I want to maybe it was just not High Life, but he did talk about another one before that. But
I think it was the Lost City of Z?
Yes, that's exactly, because he's like, I saw the Lost City of Z because my friend did that movie, and I'm like, who is this guy? And it's like, you don't know who Robert Pattinson is? But I guess he said because he had a beard on, he was very unrecognizable.
Yeah, very unrecognizable in that movie.
Which I do want to see the Lost City of Z because I think they had Charlie Hunnam and Tom Holland in it as well. So
yes,
I love those two guys. So I definitely want to. I gotta check that out somehow.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime, so definitely if anyone hasn't checked that one out, it's a really good movie.
I'll definitely look into that one. But Matt Reeves, again, he is one of my favorite directors strictly just because he did the Planet of the Apes trilogy, which started in 2011 with not Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Which I don't think he directed that one.
He didn't direct that one? I thought he did.
No, I think that was was it Rupert Wyatt who directed that one? Yeah, Rupert Wyatt was the director of the very first one, Rise of the Planet.
But then he did the last two, Dawn of the Planet.
Yeah, he did do the last two.
Well, that would explain why they got better with each one.
Yeah.
that would explain a lot. But either way, the first one was still great. But anyways,
yeah.
The work that Matt Reeves did on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes is enough to already tell me he is a great director, a great storyteller with characters, because that is what he's passionate about. He did say in his panel that I'm truly involved, I love character studies and that whole exploring the characters and their motivations. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like the Batman will definitely be more of a character centric story instead of a traditional plot story. And one of my favorite thing he talked about was Aisha Tyler, I think.
Aisha Tyler.
I love how she was interviewing him, and somebody asked about the suit design, and I love what he said was that I took not only we have our great costume designer, but I did take Rob's input into it. We had a lot of speculation on what the suit should be like, and how it should function, just because it sounded like he took even Zoe Kravitz's input into her Catwoman design, and I just thought that was really cool because you don't hear a lot of these directors talking about taking the actors into account what the suit feels like. I mean, I guess you do hear if they can move in the suit, but no one actually inputs in what they want the suit to look like and feel like for them. And I thought that was really cool of him to do, especially because I guess Robert Pattinson asked Chris Bale, what do you recommend for the suit? He's like, you need a suit that you can take a piss in. Yeah. And that's pretty cool they did that, because that's everybody's complaint. Even Ben Affleck's suit, which is supposed to be really comfortable and how he can move his head around, he still couldn't relieve himself as easily. as the other one, as like any suit as usual. So that was really cool. And again, Matt Reeves just kept honing in on the fact that I just want this movie, like every Batman we've seen a different iteration of, whether it be Tim Burton's like gothic look, very poppy thing, and then we saw Chris Bale's interpretation and what Chris Nolan did for that, and then Zack Snyder with Ben Affleck's, which he did love as well. He's like, I love that as well. But we've seen a different iteration of Batman. That's what I try to achieve. And again, just so much into that. If that panel, I'm gonna see if that panel is available on YouTube real quick. But
I believe it is. I believe they did put it up. If not officially, I know unofficially, like other people have like ripped it. Because I did see it on my recommendations.
Yep, that is on their panel. The Batman. There are a couple of people who already have it on there. If not, the trailer enough is what you should watch for sure. And then people are already writing about what happened. So if you can't watch it, you can always read it as well. But
Yeah. Oh man, Matt Reeves is probably the most perfect pick to direct the Batman movie. I mean, and if people weren't convinced, watch the panel because he just radiates enthusiasm for the character. Like you can just tell that this is someone who loves this character so much and is so eager to like, tell their own story with this character. And I mean, I can't get more excited. I can't even get more excited than him probably, just because
no,
he was just so amped the whole time, which is
dude, he
very
was.
infectious.
Every question that Aisha asked him or whether a fan asked him, he had so much enthusiasm. It was almost like hearing a giddy nerd talk about finally seeing something he's done out there, and I just love that genuine passion about him. Every actor. That's what I loved about this whole DC fandom this last week is that everybody had such passion talking about their characters, their work on these movies. But Matt Reeves was just for that to be the very last panel was the best panel of them all because he really got to explain what he wanted for everything. And then he's like, I don't have much, but here is a trailer for you. And also, real quick, for those of you who don't know, if you've seen the trailer but aren't sure what it is, basically this Batman is a younger Batman who's only in his second year of crime fighting. So his suit is homemade. It's as tactical as he can make it, as strong as he can make it, and it is beat up just because Matt Reeves is saying, yeah, he constantly looks for crime. He's always looking for a fight every night. So that's why his suit is like he basically hinted that's why it's going to look patched up. It'll look beat up, because he's been in it for 2 years. And then I loved how they talked about how Batman is very much a vigilante in this movie. And he broke it down perfectly as I think about it. Today, what if somebody dressed up as a bat and started taking the law into their own hands out in the middle of the night? Like, no one would feel safe. I wouldn't feel safe. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
you'd be
little
like,
scary.
whoa.
Like, this guy is like, is he a zealot? Is he sane? I don't know. Like, that's the whole. That's why
Yeah,
I love also about
it's
Batman is that, like, as great of a hero as he is, it's also like he's a sociopath at heart.
mhm.
And
Someone that's I like how it seems like they're leaning into that more with this iteration of the character. That this guy is not right. Like he's gone through something that's changed him, and he's taking it out on the villains of the world.
exactly. And the trailer, oh my God, the score, I can't praise it enough. And that's only using 25% of the footage, a fourth of the footage that they have done.
Yeah,
Like
they've only filmed for like maybe a month or two. So he said
before they
like
had to shut
20,
down. Yeah.
30%. Yeah, so I'm surprised he even had anything to put together really for a trailer. And if
No,
this
and
is like only 20 something percent, like what?
exactly. It's a solid quarter of the film. And then this is only a quarter. I want to see the rest of it. I want to see the other 3 quarters. Where's the
Right
full game?
away.
Where's the full thing? I want it now. um, it was just so crazy to see. I love the new Jim Gordon. Remind me, what's that actor's name from Westworld and James Bond? What's his name?
Oh, Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright is Commissioner Gordon. Not, I don't actually know if he's commissioner yet.
No,
I'm
we
just
do
gonna
know
say
he's
Jim
Gordon.
Gordon.
Yeah, we don't know if he's commissioner
He's
yet.
Jim Gordon, Paul Dano from There Will Be Blood, Cowboys vs. Aliens, Prisoners. He's the Riddler. Colin Farrell is the Penguin. Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. Oh, seeing all of them in this movie was fantastic. And I know what you loved about it was in the beginning of the trailer, they're investigating a murder
Yeah.
and it's dedicated to Batman. Is like, what's your take on this? And seeing Jim Gordon and Batman on screen together, like on a crime scene together since the first since Dark Knight, which is 12 years ago. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, again, like it seems like they're leaning more into the detective side of Batman, which we've gotten glimpses of here and there, but they've never really like been the most prominent thing about these different versions of the Batman character that we've seen in the movies that we've gotten so far. But it seems like they're really leaning into that aspect of him in this movie. And I just, like I said, I've told you in our own private conversations, just seeing Batman and Gordon checking out a crime scene is just so cool.
Yeah, and again, also though, for those of you, I forgot to also mention that this Batman, not only is he a younger one, but it does take place in an alternate Earth. So Ben
Yeah.
Affleck's Batman with the Snyder cut, that is supposed to be Earth One, like our Earth, like the very first one. This is Earth Two, so this is a completely different universe. So if you're confused by that, I know one of my friends, Dre, she was like, "Is this the same thing? Is this a different Batman?" It's like, yes and no. It is a different. It's Batman. It's still Bruce Wayne, but just in a different world. So don't expect anything Affleck related or anything like
Yeah, like
Don't expect continuity in this. This is a completely self-contained story in a different universe. It's still the multiverse,
mhm.
but then again, you just see you see a couple glimpses of Robert Pattinson brooding, which again he looks great. I thought
Oh, he's got that brooding face going.
he does. He just has that conflicted. He really portrays the inner conflict that Bruce Wayne is always fighting, like
Yeah.
trying to be Bruce Wayne when deep down he just wants to be Batman, and he just wants to take it out on the world because young Batman has been depicted as a character that he is just unfiltered rage. He will not stop on criminals. Kind of like
Yeah.
Bane's line in Dark Knight Rises, his jab at him was like, "You fight like a younger man, admirable but not effective, or
Yeah.
admirable but mistaken." So, but then there's that whole scene where it's raining and you see a bunch of like gang members. They look like either anarchists or like jokers. But the guy's like, "What the
Yeah.
hell are you supposed to be?" And
We get to see
that
Batman in
scene
action.
alone sold it for me because I know we've talked about this. I'm not a big fan of his look. Like I love his bat symbol on his chest, but his cowl looks a little funky. It kind of reminds me of Catwoman from Tim Burton's Batman, the Batman Returns, a
Hmm.
little bit. But
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, and then a little bit of Adam West too.
yes, very much Adam West as well. But all I wanted to see was I just want to see Robert Pattinson in action, see what that's like, and that beatdown of that guy where he grabs his arm, like hits him, back punch, like he basically just gives him a smack with his fist,
Hmm.
smacking him, and then breaks his arm, keeps beating him down, and after the guy falls down, just a couple extra punches to the face. I was sold on that alone. That was
Uh-huh.
enough to be like, okay,
That
we
and then the line after that too.
and then and then seeing the face on those gang members behind him, you could tell those guys are like, oh, like
Terrified, like, uh-oh.
not messing with this guy, and just I'm vengeance. That a total throwback. I did read something that was a total throwback to Bruce Timm's Batman, where he says, "I'm vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman." I thought
Uh-huh.
that was very much true. I thought about that, but I just thought like Batman's out for justice, his own form of justice this time
Hmm.
around. So that was really cool. And then we got to see a glimpse of him and Catwoman kind of having their own little skirmish. And
Hmm.
that was a really cool look too, where she has like a ski mask, but it kind of just covers her nose and doesn't cover her
Yeah.
mouth or her eyes. And the little tips at the top, like where the seams end, they kind of form little mini cat ears. So I thought that was kind of cool and very
Hmm.
indicative. Like this is Catwoman we're seeing. So she's also in like her early stages of being Catwoman. I thought those two looked great on screen together in that scene. And then it took me a while, but finally seeing Colin Farrell's Penguin, that was so cool. Like it's
Yep.
just old school prosthetics work at its best because he is unrecognizable.
Yep.
But I remember after like three or four times of watching that trailer, I was like I remember texting you like, Bern, we saw that was Colin Farrell, and you're like, really? And I
I
thought,
was
dude,
like, no.
and after I said it's in his eyes, everybody started talking about it's in his eyes.
Yeah.
Like there's so many pictures and articles that are saying you have to compare Colin Farrell's eyes with those eyes, and I'm like, yep, that's where I saw it. And then seeing the Batmobile a little bit in action, where it has the blue
Oh, that
flame.
Batmobile looks sick.
It just looks like a muscle car out of hell, just ready to wreak havoc on
Very
criminals.
Mad Max-ish.
Very Mad. Oh yeah, absolutely. I would totally want that car if I was in a Mad Max world. And then Paul Dano's Riddler, which I kind of got at the end, was he was the guy duct taping the criminals. I didn't really think about it. I was like, who is this guy? And then
Yeah.
I was like, that has to be Riddler because he's sending those letters out, like taping those like to Batman envelopes on each of the corpses.
Hmm.
And I got a very, I know he said it was very much inspired by
Like Chinatown, right?
like Chinatown, but I got a much more of a seven feel to it, where it's just very like you are chasing after this serial murderer, and it's just like that guy has a mind of his own kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, I couldn't praise it enough. I'm still rewatching that trailer nonstop because it's so well done. The score is haunting, just depressing, brooding. Just
Yeah.
gives that
Michael Giacchino killed it with the score.
it just gives me that ever-ending feel of like just dread and just like something bad, not terrible way, but just like, oh, this is going to be a dismal movie for criminal. Like if you're a
Yeah.
criminal and you're fighting Robert Pattinson's Batman, it's like you're going to get beat down somehow. It is going to be bad.
Yeah, like the score is very reminiscent of like the Jaws theme and like the Imperial March or something like the Empire March theme from like Star Wars. So it's like dun 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 dun. Dun, dun. It's like very just ominous and just like you're like, oh, this is something's off, something's gonna happen.
Again, just if this already looks like it's going to be one of the I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to overhype it, but this trailer does. I can't help it. Just seeing the bits,
Yeah.
seeing Matt Reeves' enthusiasm behind it, it's like I hope there's no way this movie can be bad. It killed all my doubts on Robert Pattinson, solidified my hope for it, and I can't wait to see more. It will be awesome if they do release it around Halloween or December of next year because I feel like that's the perfect season, whether it be fall or winter for this film. Just
Yeah.
with all the rain in Gotham and all the darkness in this film, it looks so exciting, and it just makes me so hopeful for a new iteration, a new trilogy or a storyline with this guy, like Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson. Please be Batman at this point. I'm welcoming that like 100%.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been all in since his announcement, just because I have been one of those people that has seen his work outside of the Twilight trilogy, or sure Twilight series. So
Like
I
I
mean
said,
I know this guy's great.
I've been hopeful with him just because I know he's improved as an actor, but I just need to see him in action, and I got that from this trailer. So I'm sold. I will reserve my ticket for opening weekend. I don't care. I will. Oh man, I can't wait for that. DC Fandom, I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars, just purely on presentation. And honestly, I saw a couple of comments on Twitter or Facebook where it's like, Marvel, where are you at? How can you top this? I thought, oh dang,
Balls in your
here's some
court,
shit.
guys.
It really is because it's like I know Falcon versus Winter Soldier is supposed to come out, which we don't have a trailer for. WandaVision is supposed to come out next year, I think. I honestly, if DC can do this, it's like I want to see more presentations from like Marvel, and other studios that want to do it. I
Hmm.
kind of hope the Valiant universe takes off and McFarlane he's able to get Spawn going because it's like let's keep welcoming in these other heroes and villains into this world of filmmaking because filmmaking is just it's improving with these movies as well. Like
Yeah.
if there's a new superhero movie coming out, it's most likely going to utilize whatever new technology can do. So
Yeah, it is like the blockbusters to watch the nowadays.
yeah, and I know that's another controversial topic. Like people say, some directors and stuff, like Martin Scorsese, he says superhero movies are garbage. He doesn't care for them. They're not cinema. And honestly, it's like, well, that's your opinion, but
Uh-huh.
they're less. I'm seeing them in theaters. I'm enjoying them. I get sucked into those worlds. So it's like that's what movies are to me. Like if you
Hmm.
can really empathize or get involved in that universe, that film for hour and a half, 2 hours, then shoot, it's doing his job.
Yeah, and people need to understand too that these superhero movies are the biggest reason why people even go to the theaters now, just to see these giant event films on the biggest screen possible with the best sound system and stuff. Like these are movies that kind of like require you to go to the movie theaters to get like that awesome full experience.
Exactly. These movies get me so DC Fandom got me so excited and so much more hopeful for the DC universe that I can't wait.
Yeah, at the very least, with this event, all they had to do was get people excited for their stuff that is coming out, and I think they succeeded in that tenfold.
Oh my god, yeah. Like I said, the Batman and Snyder cut, those are my two biggest wins for that, and Wonder Woman 84 is right behind them.
Hmm.
So, it's gonna be a crazy couple years for DC. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Marvel again, Marvel and Disney. We're waiting to see what you guys can bring to the table. Not
Hmm.
that it won't be bad. I'm just saying, it'd be nice if you guys did a presentation, maybe some new trailers or concept art alone, because the concept art that they showed at this fandom was just on point.
Hmm. And then a lot of the fan art too. I like how they spotlighted that as well,
Yeah,
like people submitting that stuff.
they did that, like cosplayers. Like it was really cool. Just like DC, like paying it forward for the fans. Like it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we want to. I know we can't have Comic Con. We're not supposed to be gathering right now, but this is a way for all fans and creators to gather together and just like let's talk about our stuff. Get you guys excited. Get your input so we can get back to work on everything.
Yeah, just a huge success all around for DC and all their stuff. They did it. They knocked it out of the park. They did such a great job.
Oh man, but now it's like I gotta go. After that, I'm just like I guess I'll play Fall Guys again. I still gotta play Ghost of Tsushima. Mandalorian comes out in October, so that's my birthday gift from Disney. Thank you, Disney.
Lots of good stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, man. But either way, until next time, we'll definitely have to. We'll definitely come out with some more content as much as we can. We'll try and watch some movies for everybody for new stuff to review. But that'll do for me, brother.
Yeah. All right, and then all everybody who's tuned in, let us know. What did you guys think of the DC fandom event? What was your favorite parts? What are you most excited for? Just let us know. Keep the conversation going.
Please, yes. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep nerding out together. That's what we want. And as always, stay bodacious and keep on ranting.
Yeah, everybody stay safe and be good to each other.
Absolutely. Much love. Peace out, my brother.
Deuces, man.
Doses.